It's the 23rd of April and I'm Tom Glasson. Welcome to The Roast. Now, Australia has just purchased 58 brand new fighter jets. And to celebrate, I just purchased 58 copies of Top Gun, which means I now have 258 copies of Top Gun.
Top Gun, get your Top Gun DVDs!
Oh, right here. You can never have too many copies of Top Gun.
You gonna pay for that?
Goose man. My favourite part's where they all fly planes. Tonight on The Roast, Bill Shorten wants Labor to part ways with unions, and the Abbott government buys 58 new fighter jets. But first, Mark Humphries has the headlines.
The head of Tony Abbott's Business Advisory Council, Maurice Newman, seen here deciding if you're progressing to the next round of auditions, appeared on ABC's Late Line programme last night. If you didn't see it, I assume it's because you were busy watching Station Close on ABC 3. But I saw it and I think you ought to know about it. Maurice Newman is one of Australia's most influential businessmen and has the ear of the Prime Minister. He also believes
Australia has become hostage to climate change madness.
I beg to differ, Maurice. I think Australia's become hostage to frozen yoghurt madness. Mr. Newman was quizzed about his climate change scepticism by host Emma Alberici.
Given there is now consensus among 97% or so of climate scientists across the world, what would it take to convince you?
The survey which came out with a 97% number was flawed in the first place, so we don't pay any attention to that.
Yes, it was flawed. It only asked for the opinions of climate scientists and not businessmen like Maurice. But Emma pushed on, pointing to the further evidence provided by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change.
Now, 195 countries contribute to that. 19 academies of science across the world, including, I have to say, the Australian Bureau of Meteorology, the CSIRO, NASA, the American Academy of Sciences, the British equivalent, the Canadian equivalent. So I'm wondering, who is it that's influencing you so?
Yes, Maurice, what's more convincing than the climate models developed by all those respected academies of science?
I just look at the evidence, and those models have been shown to be 98% inaccurate.
By
Roy Spencer.
Roy Spencer, aka the 3%, seen here disputing the link between photos and smiling. Roy may just be one climate scientist, but I'm pretty sure he's more knowledgeable than the Australian Bureau of Meteorology, the CSIRO, NASA, the American Academy of Sciences. I mean, what does Roy have to say about the theory of creationism?
I began to study their case, and after some months of analysis, I finally became convinced that the theory of creation actually has a much better scientific basis than the theory of evolution.
Uh-oh. So the guy that advises the Prime Minister gets his advice from a scientist who believes in creationism. But don't let that throw you. Maybe Roy's website will restore your confidence in him. Jesus, forget about climate change. That website is the greatest moral challenge of our time. But back to Maurice. Luckily, Emma Alberici did give the head of the Business Advisory Council a chance to talk about something he does know about, the government's recent trade deals with Asia.
These sorts of agreements are like a box of chocolate.
You never know what you're going to get.
You never get all the things you want.
What? That's not the quote. Turns out he's also a Forrest Gump denier. For The Roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Thank you, Mark. Well, first up tonight, Bill Shorten, the Labor leader and ping-pong ball-eating carnival clown, has outlined all the ways he wants to reform the Labor Party, specifically separating the Labor Party from the unions. And that is going to be difficult, because the unions have not just been an integral part of Labor, they created the Labor Party. So Labor splitting with the unions would be like, I don't know, breaking up with yourself. Hi, me. You wanted to see you? I did. We're through. Pack your bags. Don't worry about me. The make-up sex with me will be amazing. But the unions won't take it lying down. Not like I will later.
Trade unions will fight tooth and nail to make sure they have an influence within the party.
Union official tooth and nail biting and scratching. This isn't make-up sex with me. These are difficult political waters. And it's going to be hard to convince the unions to walk away from the only people they have any real influence over.
All right, comrade. We're trying to appeal to modern-day Australia, and that means fewer high-vis vests and more cardigan vests, fewer hard hats and more beanie hats, fewer flannelette shirts and... No, actually, we can keep the flannelette, OK? Thanks for understanding. OK, great. So long. OK. Oh, that's a firm grip. Oh, that's rough, callous work. Your hands are strong. You're crushing my pencil-pushing fingers. Please let me go.
But since most of those unions will not let go willingly, well, Bill Shorten's going to have to gear up for the fight of his life, which means he'll have less time to focus on fighting the government, which is the fight of his life he was elected to fight. But considering how ineffectual Labor is at the moment, well, the coalition's probably not even going to notice they're gone.
Shame!
Madam Speaker!
You have reached the end of side A. Please flip tape to side B for more sounds of opposition.
Incidentally, Labor Party's Sounds of Opposition is available for download on iTunes, although I hear some of the files are corrupt. And with that upcoming Royal Commission into union corruption, Bill Shorten has sent a clear message to union officials found to be corrupt or associated with organised crime.
We don't want you. Get out.
But is Bill Shorten being too hasty? Because these reforms won't be voted on until 2015. Until then, there might actually be an advantage to keeping dodgy unionists around, because they do help prove Bill Shorten's point that unions are ruining Labor and that change is needed. But if the Labor Party does ditch the unions and then the membership drive doesn't do that well, they might soon discover that they actually miss their pinko sugar daddies and that pinko sugar daddy millions. And despite knowing how bad the unions are for them, they might fall back into those strong burly workers' arms, desperate for some political muscle, money and love. Although mainly the money. In fact, Tom, get in here. I can't survive without you. Take me back, you sexy bitch!
While Tom proves himself worthy to himself, why don't you jump online and answer tonight's question? Have you ever been so angry with yourself you dumped yourself and then when you calmed down you took yourself back, but then realised the relationship still didn't work because it had more than one deep-seated problem? Oh, we'd love to hear about it at The Roast TV or hashtag RoastTV.
Fine, I promise to make more room for Tom time. My God, I'm needy. Finally tonight, the federal government yesterday approved the purchase of 58 brand new F-35 Joint Strike Fighter jets for the bargain price of $12 billion. And sure, there are people out there saying that money should be spent on health or education. But remember the old saying, F-35s are our future. And since the planes are described as the most advanced fighter in production anywhere in the world, I think it's fair to say that is money well spent.
It's behind schedule, it's over budget, and it still doesn't work properly.
I think it's fair to say that is money spent. So okay, they're not working properly. What's the problem? They fly too fast, their missiles are too accurate?
The F-35 is currently 4 hours between critical failures, and at that rate, the program will not even meet its reliability goal of 50%.
Because it's important to set goals, and the goal for the reliability of a $130 million fighter jet is for it to work half the time. And with these jets only being able to fly for 4 hours before suffering a critical failure, that means the pilots won't even be able to finish the in-flight director's cut of the Fellowship of the Ring before they crash and melt into a fiery wreck. So why can't these planes even make it up to the scene where Boromir dies?
We know what parts are coming off too frequently. We know what maintenance procedures take too long.
To interject, I would think that any part of a plane coming off at any time is too frequent. But I'm no pilot, I'm just a man with an awareness of his own mortality. Maybe planes are like snakes, where if you shed some parts, you find newer parts underneath. I guess I just was always taught that if a plane sheds a part, you find a dead pilot. For more on this, we'll cross to Alex Lee, who is currently in the air testing one of these F-35s. Alex.
Tom, right now these F-35 jets are still in the critical testing phase, where they're seeking to answer some of the big questions.
Oh yes, such as?
Like, can this plane fly?
What was that, Alex?
I believe one of the wings just disengaged, Tom.
Disengaged?
Tore completely off.
And you're not concerned?
No, Tom, remember this is the most advanced fighter jet in the world. See, both wings are gone now, but we're still flying.
Warning, critical failure.
Alex, the F-35 is said to have advanced stealth technology. How is that working so far?
Phenomenally well, Tom. By slowly breaking up into thousands of smaller parts, the plane avoids radar by not looking like a plane. Or even being a plane.
Warning, terrain, terrain, terrain.
Alex, it definitely sounds like you are crashing.
Tom, there's a saying in the F-35 pilot community, pull up, pull up, pull up. For The Roast, I'm Alex Lee, reporting from 25,000 feet, 10,000 feet,
terrain,
900
terrain.
feet.
Should we call someone or... No? She'll turn up? All right. Of course, these 58 new fighter jets that can't fight or jet come on top of the 14 we've already ordered. And I don't want to tell Australia how to buy things, but generally you don't say, "Hi, can I have 14 fighter jets?" What's that? They don't work. Great, I'll take 58 more. I'll need spares because I hear the first 14 won't work. Here's $12 billion.
$12 billion? Are you insane? If we're going to spend that much money, I better see us bombing our enemies every goddamn day of the week. And I don't want those pilots joyriding around in their sky tanks for 2 weeks before getting bored of crashing every 4 hours, then just leaving them out in the rain to get rusty next to the military-grade trampolines we got them for Christmas. Last time I checked, we weren't even at war. Why do we need these planes at all?
Because humans still can't fly on their own?
Oh, planes are World War I technology, Tom. When do you think the next war is going to happen? In the past? Nah, we've missed the boat on planes. Hell, we missed the boat on boats. And if smartphones are anything to go by, what is the most advanced jet fighter in 2014, which incidentally can't even stay in the air long enough to bomb a country other than Australia, will not be the most advanced fighter jet in 2020, which is when we actually get to fly them. And by fly, I mean crash them.
Okay, so what do we do?
In this economy? Yeah, it's probably cheaper just to rent it when we need it.
Down, 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 down. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah, hi. GoJet? Yeah, it's not here. Well, I booked it for 8:15 and all I'm seeing is a whole load of bloody airspace. What do you mean it's still in Iraq? Well, I've got laser-designated targets to incinerate. Ah, forget it. I'll just walk.
That could really cut down the amount of wars we get ourselves into.
Yeah, thanks for that, Nick. Well, that's all the time we have tonight.
For the roast, I'm Alex Lee, reporting from 5 feet.
Our shit planes are here.
Yeah, sounds it. Good night.
We get Sexy Tom in here to help get the plane out of the studio?
I thought I was Sexy Tom.
Nah. No, you're not.